think I have to stand here to talk about my speech because my speech is longer than the last. Yeah. Dear principal, staff, and fellow students, I'm really greatly honored tonight to have the opportunity to stand in front of all of you in more than 20 years of my teaching here at LPC, so you're a very lucky year group, to give a speech in the graduation dinner. When I received the invitation from Alessandra via email, I was not sure whether I should accept it or not, as I had less than 2 weeks to prepare. Be precise, it's 11 days. Maybe Alessandra thought her economics teacher is a very efficient person, and she could manage this amidst all the work she has. I asked her what is expected of me in the speech, and she told me there's no expectation, and I can say whatever I like, and there's no time limit as well. I guess, as long as someone is willing to give a speech to the students, to entertain the students on the last day of their lessons, it will be fine. So I therefore accept the invitation because this would give an opportunity to share my life with my students before they proceed to their next stage of life. After the IB examination, you may forget what I taught you in class, but I hope you will remember what I said to you tonight. To me, a teacher is not only a person who transfers his knowledge to students. A teacher is also a role model. I remember in one of the college meetings, Justin or Austin, I have forgotten who. Anyway, this does not matter, as they both look the same. They said something which I agreed. Before I share what they said, I would like to take this opportunity to apologize if I could not remember your name or I call you by a wrong name. We need to know our strengths and weaknesses, and one of my weaknesses is I am very poor in remembering people's faces. I have 2 trainees, and they are now 10 years old, and I still cannot distinguish who is the elder and who is the younger one, despite that they are not identical twins like Justin and Austin. So what the twins said, Austin said, walk the talk. Our action has to be consistent with what we said. Action speaks louder than words. And Justin followed with his comment of talk the walk, which referred to a reflection after action. At UWC, we have our mission statement and values. To achieve peace and a sustainable future, there is a set of values UWC promotes. At LPC, I really do not like people saying, this is not UWC, or you are not UWC. The set of values are to be promoted, and they are not there for us to judge others. Instead, we should ask ourselves, to what extent I am walking the talk? Of all the 9 values, the one that I like most is the last one. Anyone remember the last one? A quiz. Action and personal example. Thank you. I believe in the importance of community service or helping the needy in the community. I have been involved in the elderly service since I joined the college in 1993. In fact, before I went to Atlantic College, I was involved in the elderly service, and while I was studying at Atlantic College, I also paid regular visits to the elderly in the local community. Elderly is a group of people that deserve our respect, so please respect your grandfather and your grandmother. I want you to know the importance of developing a passion. I am telling you this not because I want to promote my service. I want you to know the importance of developing a passion in your life, something that you enjoy and you will continue to pursue with persistence in your life. If you can combine your passion with serving others or preserving the environment, This would be superb. Joyce Wong, an AC graduate, the one who came to talk to us regarding her eye clinic in Congo, is also a person with action and to set herself as an example to others. So, think of setting an example to others in your life. Many of you will become leaders in the future. Be it leaders in your workplace, at home, or in your country. How would you like to lead? Through talking or through setting yourself as an example? I know there are many styles of leadership. The one that I think earns most respect from others would be the servant leaders. Those who lead by doing it first and others to follow. Here, I would like to make a quote from the website of the Center for Servant Leadership regarding the concept of servant leader, which is initiated by Robert K. Greenleaf in his book, The Servant as a Leader in 1970. A servant leader focuses primarily on the growth and well-being of people and the communities to which they belong, while traditional leadership generally involves the accumulation and exercise of power by one at the top of the pyramid. Servant leadership is different. The servant leader shares power, puts the needs of others first, and helps people develop and perform as highly as possible. So, think of what kind of leaders you want to be in the future. Many years ago, I went to Atlantic College to study. It was very expensive to call home. I could only communicate with my family by mail, not email. I stayed in UK for 2 years without going home. Not because I did not want to, it was because I had no money to go home. I stayed in UK during summer and earned money by looking after a young child. I then had a home to stay during my holiday. Nowadays, with technology, you are very lucky to be able to talk to your parents and friends via internet. To be able to talk with parents and friends is one of the reasons against the change of internet break time. For me, I only call home a few times over the 2 years. In terms of support, most of my support came from my friends at Atlantic College. In fact, the benefits I had at the UWC outweighed the cost of leaving home, and I learned to be independent away from my parents, and I had to make my own decision. In term 2 of my year 1, around this time of the year, one night I had pain in my stomach and I vomited for the whole night. The next day, I was sent to hospital and was diagnosed with acute hepatitis, and I had to do an operation as soon as possible. I told my housemaster, that is your head of house, not to call my parents as I did not want them to worry. I insist calling them only after my operation. I stayed in the hospital for a few days and returned back to the college. There was a spread of German measles on campus, and I was put in the same sick bay with them. Very soon, I had German measles as well. I stayed in the sick bay and took my year 1 examination and wrote my extended essay until the end of the term. Despite all this, I treasured the opportunity at UWC and was very excited with my life at Atlantic College, and there was no time to be homesick. If we focus our attention on the world and the people around us, not just focusing on our own problems and the grades, we will have less stress and a more enjoyable life. My 2 years at Atlantic College was one of the most significant events in my life. You may not feel it this way now, but when you return home, most of you will miss this place. When I returned to Hong Kong to study, I had reversed cultural shock. Believe it or not, my shock back home was greater than my shock abroad. When I met my friends again, I felt that there was a gap between us. I had changed a lot, and they were still the same. They did not understand. They did not seem to echo my experience. No one seemed to understand what I had gone through. I think similar experiences may still happen to you today. So be prepared to adjust back to your normal life at home, which may be much less exciting than at LPC. Now, in the next 10 years, you will be entering into a very significant stage of your life that will be full of new challenges. You will be leaving your role as a student to be an employee. Some of you may be an entrepreneur or an employer if you have enough capital. You have to pay tax. Mind you, it is a privilege to pay tax, so don't evade tax. You may get married and have children. You have a lot of firsts. Your first degree, your first job, your first car, your first mortgage, your first house, your first marriage, and hope to be the last one as well, and your first child, etc. There will be many opportunities as well as crises. Remember to make the most of every opportunity and turn every crisis into an opportunity to grow. I would love to see you again in the 10-year reunion, not growing in size, but some of you are being big in the middle, especially for the boys, but you are growing in maturity. Tell you a story I heard. One big company was hiring new staff. The question of the written exam is, you are driving a car on one big stormy night and you are passing a bus station. There are 3 people who are waiting for the bus. One old lady who is dying. One doctor who saved your life before. One guy or girl who is someone you have been dreaming to get married to. You can only take one passenger. Which one will you choose? Please explain your reason. Now, my economics students would know. When I come to a question like this, I will say, now share your answer with your buddy, the one next to you. Which one you will say? The old woman who's dying, the doctor who saved your life, or the smart boy or girls that you're going to marry to? So can you do that in 30 seconds? Just tell your neighbor who you will say. Otherwise, we can't go back tonight. Okay? You want to know the answer? Esther is going to tell you the answer. Okay? Alright. Listen. Old lady is going to die. You should save her first. However, old people always end up dying anyway. You should take the doctor. Yes. Because the doctor saved your life before. This is the perfect chance to pay him back. At the same time, some people believe that you can always pay the doctor back in the future, but you may never be able to find the perfect love you once you pass this chance. So, I don't know what your answer is. Within the 200 candidates, the one who had hired did not explain his answer. He only simply stated that, give the car key to the doctor. Let the doctor take the old lady to the hospital. And I stayed to wait for the bus with the lady of my dream. Everyone I know think that above answer is the best answer. But who has thought of this answer first? Is that because we never want to give up any advantage we held in our hands the car key. I once was holding on to my dream of studying PhD, but I gave it up halfway because I know where my passion is and what is my best career. I found it. I'm a teacher, and I have passion in teaching. I have already chosen what is the best for me. Sometimes we would gain more if we were able to give up our stubbornness, our limitations, and advantage. After tonight, I know many of you will be studying for your IB examination. Some of you have already offers from reputable colleges and universities. What is your goal? 45 points in IB, 7 in economics, first-class honor, a well-paid job in an IBank. There are many important things and people in your life. Do you know what you are pursuing in your life? Knowledge, a rewarding career, UWC values, a handsome boyfriend, or a pretty girlfriend, a happy family, a dream. What is the purpose in your life? After your IB examination, it may be the best time for you to think more of your life if you still have not done so. On average, the lifespan in a developed country is around 80. You are about a quarter of your life journey. You have grown up now, and this is your life and not your parents. To me, I have chosen what to pursue in my life at an age of 23. Why 23? It was during my state study in Hawaii that I encountered two very important persons in my life. One is my husband, and the other is a very important friend whom I have lost for 7 years. Both of them have changed my life. What I pursued is not things from outside, but virtue from inside. They are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. What are yours? At last, I would like to end up my speech with this. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, they become your destiny. Where do you like to end up with in your life? Where is your destiny? Now, a good lesson should always end with a summary to the students so that they remember the important points. To summarize what I said tonight, a teacher is a role model who needs to know his or her strengths and weaknesses. We need to set ourselves as an example to others by walking the talk and followed by talking the walk, as it is important to reflect on what we do. Every one of us will be a leader of some sort, and what kind of leaders you would like to be. We should focus more on the needs of others, and we will have a more enjoyable life. I would love to see you grow in character, and sometimes in our life, we have to be willing to give up something first before gaining more. It is important to find out where you are heading for in your life, and I have found my destiny. What about you? Thank you.